occupational health and safety, environmental and personal risk. Managing people is one of the most important roles of human resource. One of the biggest assets of an organization is their people, who take place in fulfilling their goals. Ensuring the success of the organization is through qualified employee. It is important that the health and safety of employee is always the priority of the organization. Employees should undergo orientation and training to introduce them the organization's mission, vision, history, and its culture. Proper training is very important to avoid unnecessary accident. In using machineries and equipment of the company, proper supervision is needed. Proper waste management should observe to avoid any hazardous effects to the environment. All of this is the insight of this study, to ensure the health and safety of employees and environment is properly observed and not compromised. The statement of the problem. 1. What are the safety precautions of the organization? 2. Does the company provide adequate training for staff? 3. Does the company have adequate policies, procedure, and committee in the workplace? 4. Does the company provide safe working conditions and safety check regularly? 5. What are the practices in protecting the environment? Conceptual framework. As you can see in the illustration, manufacturing companies should have their occupational health and safety standard for the environment and for the employees. Now, employees should have their feedback for the management. And with the use of that standard, we can now see the occupational health and safety conflicts, and that conflicts is answerable by the researcher recommendation for the management. The process involves gathering data through random interview to manufacturing company, gathering related studies and literature regarding the occupational health and safety. The output is to determine the safety precaution, policies in the workplace, determine the occupational health and safety standards for the management, for the employees, and for the environment, and recommend guidelines if needed. Findings. Company X. The researcher personally go to the firm to observe and to have an interview with some employee. As the researcher entered the manufacturing site, she already known that there are risks that the employees may be had. There is no proper ventilation for the machines. The site may seem small for the machines and for the employees. The tools don't have a proper toolkit. Some small kits are in the floor. They don't have their documented health and safety system. They don't have a proper waste management for the sake of the environment. And there are some incidents reported like fire incident because of overloading of the electricity. Another incident is there is some employee that is reported to have a difficulty on their lungs. It is because of the rugby that they use for the products. The waste of their products is not properly disposed. They don't have a system of proper disposal of the materials, and they keep all the waste at the same box. They don't separate the non-toxic and the toxic waste of the product. There are some risks that the company X had because of the absence of the health and safety standards in their organization. The researcher don't settle for only one company and look for another manufacturing company to observe and to have some interview. The second company is named as Company Y. This is a manufacturing company of a microchips and an international company. As one of the employees toured the researcher to the workplace of the firm, she observed that they have proper ventilation for the employees. They also have a proper document regarding health and safety of the employees. They also conducted the seminars, training for employees regarding their new machineries. The employees of this firm have their safety standard whenever they're in the workplace. They observe proper dress code. They have their smock for protection for the chemicals that they use. And they also wear safety shoes for protection from the machineries and any accident. The workplace also has safety procedures for all the machines that they use. They also conducted a monthly medical checkup for employees to assure that they are in good health. The company also have a maintenance team for checking of their machineries and weekly check-up for the machines and quarterly cleaning for it. This is to ensure that all machines are in good and well functioning. They also have a proper waste management. They distinguish non-toxic and toxic waste. They have their committee for managing of their waste and proper disposal of it. Conclusion. The company that prioritizes the income of the organization and focus on reducing their expenses is tend to have a low motivated employees. Their employees are tend to be unmotivated and unproductive because they are not comfortable with the workplace. The accident and incidents are more rapidly occur in this setup. The retention of their employees can be now one of their problems. The employees may look for another organization that is much safer, care, and respect for them. The company that don't have their safety standard are most prone for incident. The company that don't have proper waste management is compromising the effect of their products to the employees and for the environment. The risk of the consequences of their action may be the loss of their business. The company that provides a safe and healthy working environment for the employees is tend to be more successful. The company that provides proper procedure and training for the employees is the one that cares and respect for them. As a result, the accident and incident is reduced and prevented. Proper waste management is about taking care for our country and for the future. Recommendation. Based on the findings, the researcher came up with the following recommendation: planning for hazard identification, risk identification, and hazard control, with procedures in the place for ensuring compliance with legal requirements. Implementation with clear accountabilities for all aspects of health and safety management, including a requirement for resources to be made available for health and safety initiatives and improvements. Measurement and evaluation with system in place for monitoring and assessment. Incident report and corrective and preventive action. The system monitoring and training are needed. Discuss the consequences of serious harm incident and give example of a real-life tragedy. Adaptation strategy of company Y for the company X. Ensure that all areas of health and safety are considered. And always think about safety and safe ways of working. I will never say yippee, we have finally got to the finish line, as there is always room for improvement.